What's up, everybody? Your boy Mel here in our classic review. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the fourth and final supernatural film of the Scooby franchise, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Released on October 9th of 2001. This one is more inspired with grimmer atmosphere. It also has a lighter tone, similar to its predecessor Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. And it will be also the last time. Also, it's the first film to feature Gray DeLise as the voice of Daphne Blake after the death of Mary Kay Bergman in 1999. And was also the last film where Scott Innes, the voice of Shaggy and Scooby, as well as the last film where B.J. Ward voiced Velma. The Scooby-Doo direct-to-video film will not feature a real supernatural creature again until Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. Before we begin, did you subscribe? Did you hit the bell? If so, are you an addict on the internet? Well, you better change your habit because you'll be stuck right in your damn computer. Believe me, it won't be paradise. So yeah. It is the final Hanna-Barbera production to be executive by both William Hanna and Joseph Barbera before Hanna's death on March 22nd, 2001. It is also the fourth and final Scooby-Doo directed film to animate overseas by Japanese animation studio Mook Animation. This film, along with Aloha Scooby-Doo, was part of the first Scooby-Doo films to be released on Blu-ray on April 5th of 2011. Oh boy. So yeah, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase is the fourth direct-to-video feature film, which of course was the last for the original team that worked on the first four films. The team was led by David Doy, including Glenn Leopold, Jen Stenstrom, Lance Falk, and others. They had previously clashed with studio executives who suggested outside screenwriters for the second Scooby film, which is Ghost. For Cyber Chase, it was the same situation. Executives recommend Mark Turusk, a writer already under contract with Warner Brothers, who had a little experience with animation. The crew had produced the first Scooby film, Zombie Island, as well as the third, Alien Invaders, with a total anatomy, and were insulted by Warner's assistants that they use Turusk's script. The team were particularly criticized of Turusk's draft of the script, which according to Falk, was considered a regression in terms of the franchise's potential. They felt it was pacing and plot lines were unsatisfactory. In addition, it was reportedly poorly formatted and unfamiliar with the animation process. For example, the script included complicated camera moves impossible to do with their budget, as well as countless locals that would prove tedious to design. As a result, the original team moved on to other projects. After the film's completion, the next Scooby feature, Legend of the Vampire, was written by Turos. Stenstrom initially suggested they explore using live-action actors for scenes set inside the video game. Though the idea was quickly dropped, out of the first four films, Cyber Chase featured the largest array of storyboard artists credited. As the team were under significant time constraints and required additional help, Cyber Chase was also the last Scooby film to feature animation produced by Japanese studio Mook Animation. Which, oh boy, is tedious. Because, not only that, you have a lot of details here. Of course, you have the main villain, who's like a virus, and the gang gets sucked up in a computer game, which, of course, the virus, or phantom virus, which are called, has complete mysteries, in which, of course, the villains are supernatural, well, computer-generated supernatural. And there's a funny part because they entered different games. I think the first one was the Lunar one. Then it was the Roman Colosseum. So there was a music goof chase with different until they entered the final one, which is their own game, and they had to collect Scooby snacks boxes to complete each level. Which, of course, when they enter a certain malt shop, guess what they encounter? Themselves, but this time, to make it more easy, the designs of the other gang had to resemble as the ones from Scooby-Doo Where Are You? The original outfits, which of course they encounter their shoulders, just looking at each other, like, describing each other, like, until we get to the two Shaggies. The reason why Shaggy's wearing red is because, well, you give him green, it'll be pretty hard to tell who's who. Same with Scooby with his collar. Have to give him like a red implate on his collar. Well, the rest of the game, well, Plus, it's kind of funny. Of course, they enter the theme park, which, of course, the vampire is waiting, which presents them his rogue of villains. Actually, he managed to collect all the villains they captured. Old Iron Face, the Tar Monster, the Creeper. I think it was the Capybara, I think. And what was the other one? Shit. There were other monsters as well that they captured. I try to remember. I already named a few of them. Try to remember what word. Okay, it was Old Iron Face, the Tar Monster, the Creeper, the Capybara. I think there were only 4, I think. No, there were more. There's another one, I can't remember. But yeah, those 4, they were in it. But yeah. And leads to ultimate chase because the virus has one weakness. Magnets. Since it's made of electricity. And due to the magnets giving a different positive charge, it has a bad effect on them. Even stepping on it screws them over. Well, I kind of like it. And besides, it's kind of funny how they interact with each scene. They go into space, they're in the moon, then they're at the Roman Colosseum, which of course have to fight skeleton gladiators. And then we have different sequences. One's in the like underwater. Then we have another one looks like on a boat. Then we end up in the final game, which is the Scooby-Doo game that it was created for them. But yeah, it's quite interesting though, and this is the final one, not just for the voice cast, but also the founders of Hanna-Barbera as well. If you recall, what's his name? Shit. William Hanna, sorry. This was his final film until he passed away in March of 2001. This is like before it's released, because this is in March and the film was released in October. So this was his final one before it was released in October. So he passed away. Damn. I'll tell you what. And I recall, Joseph Barbera's final one was Tom and Jerry, The Fast and the Furious. That was his final one before he passed away, so yeah. And he had all hands in there, helping there. And this will be the last film to feature supernatural creatures until the Goblin King around later. Which I've seen is actually pretty funny. I like it. But yeah, as for the reception, despite a lack of critical consensus and reviews, the film had a 60% approval Rotten Tomatoes based on 5-star review. Ouch. Common Sense Media gave the film 2 out of 5 stars, saying the gang trapped in the video game Pearl cartoon violence. And also, home media release. It was released on October 9th, 2001, both VHS and DVD. Then the film was released on Blu-ray on March 2011. This was the first animated Scooby film to be produced in high definition format. And also, there was a video game for the PlayStation and the Game Boy Advance. Which, of course, this was the first Scooby-Doo video game to be on a 6th generation handheld game. Because Okay, this is before the Xbox. This is during the time of the Genesis, the birth of PlayStation, the first one, the first console, and this is for the Game Boy Advance, their sixth one, generation, the Advance, which I remember is actually a good game. Damn, I remember. It feels like you're in a video game, so it's actually pretty funny. They really don't lack the music though. That's a problem. Unlike the other two, that has great music for each scene. The other two, like Alien Vader and Cyber Chase, it lacks the soundtrack, which we all can agree. And we also have the voice actors. Remember, this is the final time. I think the only one who continues to be in the Scooby franchise is Frank Welker, the original voice of Fred. I think he does also the voice of Scooby as well. We have Gray DeLiz, who's now the voice of Daphne after the passing of Mary Kay. We have B.J. Ward as Velma, Joey Alaski as Officer Wimbley. If we can find out about him. Oh yeah, he's a comedian. Oh, a broadcaster, okay. Well, we have Bob Bergen as Eric Stauffer. And actually, guess what? He's actually the voice for Warner Bros. Characters such as Porky Pig and Tweety. In the English dub of various anime, he formerly hosted a children's game called Jep, which is adapted to the game show Jeopardy. Oh, cool. We have Thomas Kane Roberts as Professor Kaufman, who is a retired voice actor, best known for his work in animation video games, most notably the Star Wars franchise. Cool. We have Mikey Kelly as Bill Lemore, who is best known for his role as Michelangelo in the TMT movie, The Silver Surfer in the Superhero Squad show, and David Carter in Invasion America. And Higgins and Elena the Avalar, and Gary Sturgis as the Phantom Virus. Known for his role as Bar Patron and other characters in the television series America's Most Wanted, and for providing the voice of Ebon in the anime series Static Shock. Cool. That's kind of cool. The more you know. I'm curious about the other ones. Let me see. About Scott Hines. Yeah, he does the voice for... he does Scrappy, Scooby. Oh, okay, this is something I didn't know. He also does the voice of Popeye. Which one? I know there were other series like Popeye and Son. I think maybe I gotta check on that. If he voices that, that'd be interesting. Gray Disley. That's a curious one. I wonder what she did after this one. Oh, not much. Let's see. The video game roles. Debut in a comedy act titled My First Comedy. Oh, she's a singer songwriter. Okay. Well, that's the more you know. But yeah, people, this has to be my shortest one because unlike the other three that had more, well, the first two had more a backstory, interesting history details. The last two, well, I don't say the Alien Invaders had an 80%. This one's like the final one is like a 60 right there. It's kind of weird because I think the reason they're missing the soundtrack, because the first two managed to gain some momentum with the soundtrack, good music, memorable characters. The last two, well, of course, the third one is like a romance between Scooby, Shaggy, and two aliens. This one is like see their virtual doppelgangers, which is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of interesting to see them wearing their original clothes from the original series. Well, almost, since Shaggy's wearing the red shirt, which is actually a permanence to Scooby and Scrappy films from Ghoul School, The Reluctant Werewolf, and Booze Brothers, which I'm going to do a review on those three as well. Which I call the Red Shirt Shaggy trilogy. Well, there was 13 Ghosts, but that was a series. I already did a review on that, which features Daphne and Flim Flam, and Scrappy. But yeah, people, and that was Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. Well, tell me what you think of this film. Did you like it when you first saw? Did you hate it? I don't know. What do you think? I'm not gonna ask you what the music is. Well, there is a music, which is the gag scene when they're jumping through game to game. I don't know what's they didn't list what song that was. So, if you comment down below, name of the song, you're a player. Hell yeah! But until then, remember, if you're new to the channel, remember to hit the bell, like this video, subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day, everybody. Peace. Now I'm about to commit suicide. Wee.